Well, often people with diabetes find their working life and financial stability affected by the disease. Now, the impact of the disease could see them unable to access things like home loans, life insurance, as well as business loans. Now, today, to help you understand how you can avail all these facilities, we're joined in studio by Ross Beerman. He's the CEO of AllLife's Insurance. He heads up an innovative life insurance company, AllLife. They provide life insurance to people living with things like HIV and diabetes. He's also a global ambassador for social impact enterprise initiatives. So, Ross, good chatting to you. Obviously, yesterday was we spoke about diabetes. I mean, the question is, it's a big risk for you, but you've obviously done the maths, and I guess treatment nowadays, so much so, allows people to live a lot longer.
Yes, and we travel a journey with our clients. So we do something totally different. What we do is we help our clients manage their health. We help them live healthy lives. They live longer, makes us more profitable. Everybody wins. So it's a slightly different insurance model. We provide life cover on the one side, but on the other side, we're traveling a journey, a journey with our clients.
Just explain to them, I mean, surely is it an increased premium? I mean, how does it work for these people? Just explain the process of testing them and getting them on board.
Well, so diabetics do have an increased risk, so there is an increased premium. But the reality is, if you take care of yourself, it's a chronic manageable disease. You can manage the disease, you can kind of live long, healthy lives. And really what we do is we change the longevity of our clients. So we change the way they behave, and that makes it much more affordable, it makes it much more easy to access. And what happens normally is that you go through long, complicated processes to access life insurance. If you're a diabetic, it's pretty straightforward with us because we know the journey you're going to walk, and we're going to walk that with you. So that kind of changes the game with regards to access.
I mean, but how do you do that? I mean, how do you ensure that that person is going to exercise or eat properly, or, you know what I mean?
No, fair enough. It's not easy. What we do is we're calling people, we're texting people, we're emailing people, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. And kind of mostly people need to get into a regular beat. They need to get reminded, and they need to get helped and told how to behave, and that actually changes behavior and actually results in our clients living longer than the average.
I guess the concern for everybody when they want life insurance is the exclusion factor there. I mean, again, it's a grudge purchase. I've got it. It was the worst document I signed, but that's the way it is. I mean, are there any exclusions, or what can you be excluded for? Or
so not really. I mean, so we focus on diabetics. We give them both life and disability cover, and really it's kind of besides the usual legalese that comes with life insurance documents. It's, I mean, you die, you're getting paid, and that's really the issue that that you're worried about. Your dependents are taken care of, your home loan's paid off, whatever it is that you're concerned about happens, but it's not, there's not this long list of exclusions. There's nothing directed at diabetics that standard life that the rest of the community wouldn't expect to see.
And I guess it's different for various people along their cycles of diabetes. We've got the different types of diabetes. Yeah. So you obviously look into that and have done the medical research that how long people live with certain types of diabetes.
So there's type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1, really, it's early onset. Generally, kids start with type 1 and they don't produce enough insulin. So you'll see people injecting insulin, and that's often, it's a simpler disease actually. You don't produce enough insulin, you add a bit more to make yourself healthy. Type 2, it's a little bit more complicated. It's late onset diabetes, and what happens there is you used to produce enough insulin, you still do, but your body doesn't use it properly. And normally you've put it under stress, you've either gained weight or there's some genetic factors, and kind of that's more complicated. But whichever group that you look at, if you follow a fairly set regimen and a fairly set practice, you can actually change the outcome quite dramatically. And it is within people's control to actually change their personal outcome when it comes to diabetes.
Let's go back to the mindset of getting life insurance, especially, if you're a diabetes sufferer. You want your family to, live well after you've passed. I mean, what is the actual process you go through? I mean, you go to someone's house, and what kind of tests do you undertake? That must be a concern for them.
Well, actually, there's a real-time process, firstly. So you talk to us on the phone, or you access us through the web, and you can access cover immediately as you answer the medical questions, and kind of we get a view of your health. What happens thereafter is a nurse comes past you at a time of your convenience and does some of the testing that's required to kind of verify the information. But it's a much simpler, much easier process because we know the path, whereas traditional life companies, there's that one interaction, and kind of they never speak to you again. So because of that long path, we can take a different kind of view on our clients and make the process much simpler.
What people, I guess, want to know, and I know you probably can't provide very accurate figures, but give us an example of how much a premium would cost and what kind of cover you would get.
So I mean, so look, we have massive ranges of cover,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I mean, I think the largest policy we've written for a diabetic is 12-15 million rand. The smallest policy is probably around kind of 200,000 rand. So obviously, massive differences in those premiums.
Depending on the cover you want.
Yeah, and the cover, your age, your health, and there's lots of nice actuarial technical terms. But you know, kind of if you're looking at a 35-year-old male non-smoker, kind of otherwise reasonably healthy, you know, probably a couple of hundred rand a month probably get you kind of 500, 700,000 rand of cover, kind of depending on the other characteristics of your health.
You've obviously tapped into a big market. I mean, I chatted to an expert, a doctor actually yesterday on diabetes. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who are suffering from this.
Yeah, so it's 12% of the adult population in South Africa, so it's a massive number. It's 8.5% of the global population. So you're talking about 98 million Indians, 135 million Chinese. In South Africa, we've got 3.5 million people. There are 31 million Americans. It's a mass disease, and we're doing something different to the rest of the world. So, I mean, we've been approached by life companies around the world to come help them actually serve diabetics, because it's a big issue wherever you go.
Ross, it's a competitive game. There are a lot of people out there doing it. I mean, what makes AllLife any better than anybody else?
Well, so the reality, so there's actually not a lot of people focused on diabetics. So people serve diabetics, you know, along the way, but really they're not targeted, they're not focused on, they don't really look for diabetics as clients. So we're really the only company in town looking for diabetics actively, and that is very different. And then our process is dramatically different. So in general, what you'll do is you'll go to a traditional life company. What will happen is it'll take you quite a while just to get a quote. With us, you know, 10 minutes into a phone call, you'll have a price. You'll know whether you want to go through the rest of the process. So that process is dramatically different with us. Kind of it's all real time. The customer journey is significantly simpler, significantly easier, and it's because we focus on diabetics in the way that we do.
And then they get onto your website and download a questionnaire. Is that how?
Yeah, well, they can get onto the website. It's alllife.co.za and kind of get some information. They can call into our call center and somebody will chat them through the process.
Fantastic. Ross, that's where we've got to leave it. Thanks so much for coming to chat to us this morning. There, I guess there's a lot of hope, where the treatments are getting a whole lot better. We chatted to a doctor yesterday on diabetes, and that's certainly not a death sentence anymore, that is for sure. I'm chatting to Ross Beerman. He's the CEO for AllLife Group. They specifically focus on people with diabetes, offering them life cover, offering them, in many respects, hope for, dying, in a good way and financially stable, leaving their family in financial stability. So we'll keep you up to date with all the latest coming out from our focus on diabetes this week. Ross, thanks very much for coming to chat to us. Well, it was a big moon last night, so the most spectacular supermoon since 1948. It lit up the skies around the world, appearing 14% bigger and 30% brighter than usual. It was a once-in-a-lifetime moment for many people around the world that scanned the skies for the unusually big and bright moon. Let's take a look at some of the shots that were taken last night.